Jiangnan City. Near Jiangnanfu Villa area. Is just a luxurious villa area located in the city center. In a gorgeously decorated room. On the balcony, there was a figure of a 20-year-old boy who seemed to be thinking about something with a cigarette in his hand. I saw his handsome face, the outline of his facial features looked like carved from a heavenly palace, and his eyes were as clear as the vast starry sky. Seemingly calm thinking, in fact, 10,000 grass-smud horses passed by in my heart. Until now, he still clearly remembers that he was watching the novel next to a big tree in the sky a moment ago, and there was a thunder in the sky. When he recovered, he appeared in this villa. Yes, he crossed. And let's traverse when crossing. How can I traverse into the novel I'm reading? The name of this novel is called The Flower Protector, Across the City, which is a no-brainer essay. The name Qin Hung is more familiar to him than anyone. Is the villain in this novel. Has a background that is extremely against the sky. The big Qin family is a single pass from 3 generations. Qin Heng's father has a high status in the army, and everyone respects his longing for existence. The power in his hands is unimaginable. S mother is a daughter of the Zhao family, and she is very much loved by the Zhao family's father and 2 uncles. The 4 major families in Kyoto, Zhao Qian Sun Li, Zhao Wei Zun alone. My grandfather is a character who often appears in news networks, and his status is immeasurable. The powers of the entire Qin family are tightly held in hand. With such a huge background, how does Qin Hung end up? Father died in battle. Grandpa was also poisoned by the hero. The Zhao family is okay, it's just that the family is ruined, and all the family members are living overseas. All this is done by the hero in the book. In the novel, the son of the fate of the day is called Liu Chen. According to the description of the author of The Cow and Horse, the length of the person is fairly reasonable. But I can't bear it, and they have the protagonist's halo. I worshipped a mysterious expert on Longhe Mountain since I was a child. After he grew up, he went down the mountain and went abroad to become a mercenary killer. Tired of his career as a killer, he returned to the city. Lu dementia women swarmed around. And those villains, it seems that IQ has dropped to a negative number. Don't get rid of them before they have fully grown up. Instead, I learned a set of sports, playing the scene of Calabash Baby saving Grandpa, one by one, sending them up, sending equipment, sending experience, chances, and sending them away. This Liu Chen finally became a big boss. If you have accumulated enough strength, even the Qin family dared to dismount. Thinking of this, Qin Heng's face showed a little melancholy. I was still interested in reading novels before, but I didn't expect it to eat melon to myself. Now, Crossing has become the villain. And the one in the book, the one who was ruined and died overseas, it was him. My only advantage now is that I am omniscient and omnipotent, knowing all future plot developments. After all, I have been familiar with this novel dozens of times after reading it over and over again. At this moment Qin Hung walked out of the balcony, looked at the extravagant dress around, and looked at the woman lying on the bed by the big 5 flowers. Fell into thought again. The woman is beautiful, 23 years old, wearing a lavender dress with a light makeup on her face, obviously dressed up before going out. Her eyebrows are misty like smoke, her appearance is all over the country, like fairies from the sky come to this world, it's so beautiful, and the beauty makes people heart-wrenching and yearning. She lay there quietly, with an inexplicable coldness on her natural face, and the breath of a superior person was revealed. This is the first heroine in the novel. Is the president of the M. Moser Group. Liu Chen, who is tired of his life as a killer, decides to return to the city and live a normal life. As soon as he returned to China, he was found by the chairman of the Moser Group and asked him to protect his daughter. There is no lack of meaning to match the two of them, but in this way, Mu Elegy feels disgusted when he sees Liu Chen's dick. In the book, Liu Chen is also an old-fashioned critic. Mu Elegy, then he was assigned to the company's security department by Mu Elegy for various reasons, to be a security guard to look at the company's door. And now the woman lying on the bed with 5 big flowers on this bed is Mu Elegy. The president of Bingshan, the business goddess of Jiangnan City, is also one of the heroines of this novel. Liu Chen also had a headache thinking of here. Become a villain at the start, forget about it, and tie the heroine. It's not obvious that I'm doing nothing. I feel that I'm living too comfortable, so what do? I really want to kill the author. Qin Hung thought angrily in his heart. I thought it was a start in heaven, but I didn't expect it to be a start in hell. A vivid nightmare. This is when Qin Hung feels that this start is hopeless in the future, and how to deal with this hot potato. A mechanical female voice rang from my mind. Ding! The system has detected the host's mood fluctuations, and the Destiny Villain system has been successfully activated. Please make a choice. Choice 1, release the heroine, and kneel down to apologize to her. Reward, the system disappears, I don't have the ability to own the system. Choice 2, hunt down the protagonists from all walks of life, seize their fortune opportunities, and become the villain of the destiny. Reward, 1 destiny 10 consecutive draws. What? System? Qin Hung whispered in his heart. The Destiny Villain system, assisting the host to defeat the protagonist, and eventually become the Destiny Villain. As long as the host strikes the protagonist, takes away the protagonist's chance, and harvests the heroine from all walks of life, he can get the Destiny value. The Destiny value can be drawn once. 100 Destiny value is drawn once, the reward is generous, you can get Krypton Gold, 1 million lottery, UU reading www.uuganshu.com 10 million times. In addition, the system will release corresponding tasks from time to time, and the host can obtain rewards and Destiny values after completing the tasks. After listening to the explanation of the system, Qin Hung understood it. Isn't this just about letting himself fight against the protagonist Liu Chen? Looking at the options on the system panel in front of him, he couldn't help being silent. This is the world of fiction. He is also clear about the background of all the protagonists, and he also knows that he can't go back in time. Looking at the option panel, Qin Hung knew that the results of choosing the one were different. Choosing the first one would lose the cheat sheet, and from then on living a rich life. After choosing the second one, his life would be invincible. Here, he is thinking about it anyway. According to the introduction of the author of The Cow and Horse, there are peerless killers, the rebirth of the Fairy King, the system gods, the return of the soldiers, and the protagonists of the gods of war. At this time, Qin Heng's eyes lit up. His original destiny was the stepping stone for these heroes to save the beauty and attack the heroine. Since the system is blessed, he is given the right to choose. Then how can he shrink back and wait to die and become a tortoise? He doesn't want to be the stepping stone of the protagonist. If he wants to do it, he will be the villain of the destiny, beat the protagonist violently, press on the ground, and let them know how powerful they are. Please choose from the host. The system sent out the selection invitation again. Between heaven and hell, there is no right for me to choose, only my chosen destiny. Since a headwind hit, I have been able to withstand the wind from all directions, and set up a boat. Just do it. Qin Hung grinned, his eyes full of determination. I choose become the Destiny Villain. The function of the system is very clean and comfortable, there is no miscellaneous programs, there is a lot of space for autonomy, and the explanation of the system is very detailed, so that people can quickly understand the use of the system. Now he only needs to change the original plot development of the novel, and he can get the corresponding villain value points for lottery. Ding! The host makes a choice, and the system rewards, Destiny 10 consecutive draws. Does the host perform reward extraction now? A voice appeared in his mind to remind Qin Hung. Then what are you waiting for? Let's draw a lottery. Qin Hung said excitedly. Brush. In an instant, a roulette with dazzling golden light appeared in front of Qin Heng's eyes. Contains a dazzling array of items, countless, all of which are precious rewards, and getting one of them is a matter of earning no loss in blood. Looking at the rewards on the golden roulette in front of him, he was dazzled, and his emotions were even more excited. Medical skills, God level; gambling skills, God level; car skills, God level; Bajiquan, God level; Linba Weiabu, God level; Zhonglong 18 palms, God level; firearms knowledge, God level; fighting skills, God level; stock trading, calligraphy, language proficiency. Various rewards emerge in endlessly. There is even a column for future technology manufacturing on the roulette, which makes Qin Heng's mood even more elevated. If you get this, it means that you can use the future technology, laser cannon, time and space shuttle in the movie. Only you can't think of it. No system can't do it. Brush. The roulette is spinning at this moment. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning the reward. Staring at the seven abyss. Sevenfold abyss gaze. When the host is angry and despise everything, others will see the host's eyes as falling into the sevenfold abyss, filling his heart with fear and weakness, and at the same time improving the host's own temperament. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning the reward. Halo of the Destiny Villain. Aura of the Destiny Villain, immune to all the protagonist's intellect attacks, plunder or kill the protagonist, immune to devouring luck. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning the prize of the 8th generation of future super genetically fortified drinks. The 8th generation of future super genetically fortified beverages, orange flavor, strengthen the host's personal consciousness, enhance the host's genes and enhance the host's brain development, and increase the strength of the host's bones and veins. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning the reward. The Emperor Wang Qi Technique. Emperor Wang Qi Technique, detect the son of destiny, whether it is the protagonist or the heroine, you can check at a glance, assisting the host to fight the protagonist and plunder the luck. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning the prize of the ultimate charm. Extreme charm, the host's face value and figure are all raised to the peak, which additionally enhances the protagonist's self-confidence. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning the prize. Proficient in world languages. Proficient in world languages, English, German, French, Japanese, Spanish. Proficient in languages all over the world, whether it is an existing language or a language host that has become extinct in the world. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning the reward. Master Huajin. Realm, Ming Jin, Dark Jin, Huajin. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning the prize. A super killer who exists as an ordinary person and follows the host, code name, Suzaku. Suzaku, super killer, help the protagonist complete individual special tasks and protect the host. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning the reward. God level. Bajiquan. Bajiquan realm, elementary, intermediate, advanced, God level. Ding! Congratulations to the host for winning the prize. Patek Philippe. 0 number sequence. Patek Philippe. Number 0 sequence, Patek Philippe's town store treasure, priced at $200 million. This is the only piece in the world. With the release of system rewards, the system sound disappeared. At this time, Qin Heng was digesting and comprehending the rewards he had received, and his heart was even more excited. They were all good things. After browsing the system rewards, Qin Heng did not hesitate to take the 8th generation future super genetically fortified beverage from the system warehouse. Looking at the appearance of this bottle of drink, the packaging of the drink has a sense of technology flowing. The drink is in Qin Heng's hand and the beverage packaging is also changing at any time as Qin Heng's hand turns. Click tons, 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 tons filled. The cool and refreshing breath slid from the throat to the position of the dantian in the lower abdomen. In an instant, that feeling completely disappeared, and replaced by a glowing heat that spread all over the body. The burning sensation flows into the whole body along the meridians, wherever it goes itchy, numb. His muscles, bones, flesh, skin, and brain have undergone drastic changes at this time, especially the brain. Qin Heng can feel his brain space is expanding rapidly. As the pupils shrink and enlarge, Qin Heng's eyes seem to see the world from destruction to re-establishing a new order, from the Jurassic period to the Ape-Man period to the theory of evolution, evolving into human beings, and the highly developed brain makes he felt the insignificance of the world and at the same time improved his vision. 5 minutes later, some sticky impurities appeared on Qin Heng's body. The body was lifted after drinking the drink to decompose and excrete impurities. Qin Heng also quickly re-entered the bathroom, and took a cold bath happily. The self in the mirror has changed. He is completely different from the original self, as if he has changed. Qin Heng showed off his perfect body in front of the mirror. The mermaid line, abdominal muscles, chest muscles, shark muscles, and other muscles all reached a 100% perfect state. With the blessing of the ultimate charm, Qin Heng's personal charm has also reached the ultimate peak. Now he is full of energy and unique. After taking a shower and walking out of the bathroom, Qin Heng changed into a more casual dark blue suspender suit embellished with gold silk. At the same time, he also brought the Patek Philippe Serial 0 watch that he took out of the system warehouse. Reading www.yuuganshu.com's current Qin Heng is flawless in terms of body, appearance, and temperament, showing nobleness and elegance in his whole body. Is now like an elegant and charming villain, completely in line with his current character settings. Then Qin Heng clenched his fists and punched a set of Beiji fists. With the blessing of God-level Bajiquan, his whole body is full of power, and every punch he strikes cuts through the void. Boom! The void around it seems to be slowly turbulent. His consciousness has also become clear and bright, not as muddy as before. The eyes are like clear rivers, crystal clear to the bottom, like infinite stars, vast and bright. Now he can be said to be an Almali. At the same time a light blue panel visible only to him, appeared before his eyes. Host, Qin Heng. Identity, Young Master Qin family, Destiny villain. Charm value, 100, out of 100, the host can still enhance its own charm, but cannot be promoted in the roulette lottery. The host's personal villain value points are required to increase and the number of points is the same as the roulette lucky draw. Again, warm reminder, you can Krypton Gold. Capital, 8 billion. Strength, the midterm of the strength. Skills, Bajiquan, God level, staring into the 7 deep abyss, proficient in world languages. Item, Patek Philippe. 0 Serial watch. Gold finger, the Emperor's vision of Qi. Follower, Suzaku. Villain value points, 0. System store, open. Host air luck, 600. At this time, Qin Heng looked at his message on the light blue panel, and his heart was full of confidence and fearlessness. Was thinking in his heart, since the protagonist is going to destroy his family, no wonder he killed them first. Looking at the skills on the panel, the start to life is the peak, developing the brain, strengthening the physique, acquiring skills, matching the watch, matching the killer bodyguard, this is the monkey fuck, the baboon, the protagonist is dead. I want Krypton Gold for the system. I want to increase the charm value. First charge him 100 million. Qin Heng whispered in his heart. What Qin Heng thinks now is that he now has his own abilities, although his charm value has also increased to 100 points. However, the system said that it can be increased again. What he wants now is that his charm can make the heroine see the idea of liking, thereby improving his goodwill. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully recharging, and redeem 100 villain value points. Charm value, 200, can be increased up. As soon as the system sound disappeared, Qin Heng ran to the mirror to watch his current changes. Looking at his handsome face, he couldn't help but become idiots. Isn't this invincible and handsome? Who sees who doesn't love? Is when Qin Heng is happy. A bright black luxury car stopped at the entrance of the villa. A figure got out of the car and walked from the villa. I saw her wearing a black one-piece special combat short skirt and stepping on special combat boots. She was heroic, but at the same time she couldn't conceal the seductiveness that she exudes. The slender legs are very powerful and full of wild beauty. But her face revealed a kind of coldness. That kind of feeling is quite bitter. Looking at everyone, there is a feeling of contempt for all beings. It is very scary, and it makes people shudder. It is hard to imagine that these two auras actually appeared on the same person. This kind of aura makes her extra mysterious, making people afraid to approach or have any thoughts. Who are you? What are you doing here? Stop me! Plum, orchid, bamboo, and chrysanthemum gave a cold drink. The four of Mei Lanzija were bodyguards by Qin Heng's side. They were adopted by his father many years ago. After that, he joined the army and developed his skills. After that, he returned from the army and continued to serve the Qin family. It was absolute for the Qin family. Loyal, lively female soldier king. They felt the absolute threat from this woman. The aura was terrifying. It was more terrifying than the soldiers they had seen in the army. You must know that the four of them are female soldiers in the army, and some of the veteran soldiers are not them. The opponent of the four. Seeing their attitude, you can know how terrible this woman in red is. Makes them feel shocked. I'm looking for Master Qin. The woman's voice is as clear as a aureole. Gives people a feeling of being 1,000 miles away. Master Qin. All four of them looked at each other and understood. There is nothing, you said, Master Qin, please leave as soon as possible, otherwise we will be welcome. At this time, the four of them all squeezed their fists, posed for battle, and at the same time ordered the bottom to inform Qin Heng to evacuate. In their opinion, the unkind comer must have harmed their son. The murderous aura that this woman revealed invisibly was something they had never felt during the mission. It was even more terrifying than the killer they had encountered. This murderous aura was similar to that exuded from her own master. There will be no people who walked out of the sea of blood in the corpse mountain. Hey? What did you say? The woman said lightly, without any extra action. But in the eyes of the Mei Lanzija four, this is a warning, warning them to let themselves in. The four of them are now in a state of nervousness, and they dare not care at all. At this time, they have become 100 times more energetic. Watching this woman nervously, the atmosphere fell into a weird silence, weird and scary. If you let a coward meet, you will definitely be scared to pee. Click at this moment, the door of the room opened unexpectedly, breaking the strange silence. Qin Heng's figure slowly walked out, and the aura of the middle stage of Huajin was fully revealed, giving people a feeling of worship. Qin Heng's deep eyes stared at the front and calmly looked at the woman in front of him. Obviously he knew what was happening downstairs when he was upstairs. The son, hurry up, be careful of her. Before the four of Mei Lanzija finished speaking, they were stunned in the same place, looking straight at what was happening in front of them. Looked at Qin Heng. Was stunned on the spot, with surprise and disbelief in his eyes. Looking at Qin Heng in front of them, his handsome appearance, like a heavenly sculpture, made their hearts pounding, and the feeling of heartbeat. There are even more earth-shaking changes in his aura, his eyes are deep and he looks at the world, in the eyes of the four of them, even if Qin Heng's father is here, he can't compare him, looking at the world, unparalleled. Can only say yes. Qin Heng, who has a full score of charm value and an extra 100 points, is already so handsome that everyone loves, the flowers are blooming, the cars see the cars and the tires are blown, and both men and women eat everything. What happened? What are you nervous about, and what are you making now? Qin Heng smiled slightly, like a spring breeze, his voice full of confidence. "The son, hurry up, this is a killer, come to assassinate." King Mei was the first to recover, and hurriedly shouted. Before she could finish her words, Qin Hung waved her hand to stop her. This is the system rewards his followers, or a killer who can help him deal with the protagonist. Looking at the man in front of him, Qin Hung is even more sure that this is a reward given to him by the system, Sozaku. Qin Hung smiled and looked at the woman in front of him, as if he had seen her through half-step Huajian's strength. Now Qin Hung Huajian's midstage can see through this woman's realm at a glance. At this time, the woman in red moved and saw her walking. Approached Qin Hung step by step. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. At this time, the plum, orchid, bamboo, and chrysanthemum behind Qin Hung were also vigilant. Qinglan, Qingzu, and Qingzhou would also pass their spirits. With a stride, Qin Hung was quickly blocked behind him, guarding his left and right, as the woman approached. Step by step seems to have stepped into their hearts, making them feel scared and powerless. They know that if they fight, they may not be the opponent of the person in front of them. The only idea now is to hold back as hard as possible to let their own family. The sun retreated. It is still 5 steps away. In the eyes of the 4 of them, it is farther than the long march, crossing the Yellow River, the Yangtze River, and stepping on the plains. Before they walked in front of them, they could feel the almost condensed horror and murderous spirit, which made people horrified and cold sweat. DC, their backs are now wet with cold sweat. Came down suddenly when he was 1 step away from Qin Hung. Then, under the horrified eyes of Milan Zizhu, the beauty who wore a black one-piece special combat shorts knelt on one knee. Bow her head and lower her eyebrows. 4th on the killer list, Si Ling Sozaku, see the master. When Sozaku knelt on one knee, Qin Hung also opened his system panel and took a look. Name, Zuk. Gender, female. Strength, half-step energization. Loyalty, 100, out of 100. Absolute loyalty to the host, unswerving loyalty. Loyalty buff, enhance the strength of the host and followers, and increase the loyalty of the host when it subdues followers. Looking at the explanation of the system panel in front of him, Qin Hung couldn't help being surprised. It's too great to be able to add buffs to his followers. At the same time, Qin Hung was surprised and delighted that he was so beautiful and moving. Followers. What, master? Mei Lan Zizhu's face is full of shock now, she can't believe it, the woman who exudes a terrifying murderous look is actually called the master of her own young master, it is simply hard to be confident. 4 Spirit Sozaku. When they were serving in the army, they naturally heard the name of the person in front of them. Who knew her name in the army? Even if it is a new recruit, when he first entered the army, he heard the legend of the world's top killer. 4 Spirit Sozaku, legendary figure, top killer, 4th in the 4 Spirits organization. According to rumors, every time Sozaku kills, there will always be ancient Sozaku totem darts made of special metal on the scene. This is used to tell people that they killed themselves. It also tells people that the 4 Spirits organization is powerful. There are only 4 people in the entire organization. They only take the hardest jobs in the world and kill the hardest people in the world. And this chilling Sozaku in the killer world, only ranked 4th in it, you can see the strength and fear of this organization. The people she killed, could not see their appearance at all, they had fallen to the ground, and their blood became cold. What's more, this woman, no one has seen her appearance at all. Now it seems that the devil-like character circulating in the world, even a big man, will tremble with fear and cold sweat when she hears her deeds. I thought it turned out to be a beautiful and moving woman. But they didn't expect that this famous assassin in the world would kneel down and float up and down the master of his own family and call his master. They didn't even dare to think about it. Then they looked at Qin Hung like a monster, with shock and disbelief in their eyes, watching Qin Heng's changes in appearance and temperament when he came out of the villa. This is a completely different person, so their brains can't explain or digest at all. The four of them need time to digest today's content and everything they see with the huge amount of information that they bring now. At this time, after Qin Hung understood, he couldn't help being surprised. The system actually gave him such a powerful person, fourth in the killer list, behind the Four Spirits organization at the top of the killer pyramid, and more importantly, a beauty. Blood trading, Master, Suzaku is late, please punish the Master. Suzaku was still kneeling on one knee at this time, lowering his head without looking at Qin Hung. Listening to the crisp voice of Suzaku, Qin Hung smiled slightly and said faintly, "It's okay, get up." As Qin Hung's voice just fell, Suzaku also got up and looked at Qin Hung. There is unprecedented respect in his eyes. It looked like Su Chu from the Three Kingdoms period. In the words Cao Pai said, as long as Cao ordered, Su Chu would not blink his brows even if he killed his parents. The same is true of Suzaku now. This is 100% loyalty and respect to Qin Hung. It is not a performance at all and cannot be faked. Just when the four of Milan Zhuge were thinking about it, Qin Hung smiled slightly, his smile like a spring breeze. What should I change, and what shouldn't be said? I think your sister is smart, shouldn't I teach you? My son, rest assured that the four of our sisters didn't see anything. Nothing happened today. Plum, orchid, bamboo, and chrysanthemum nodded like chickens pecking rice. Could not help but breathe a sigh of relief. At the same time, he became more and more curious about his young master, feeling that he was full of mystery, and a layer of visible mist enveloped him. Well, it's a good performance. Qin Hung nodded in satisfaction and returned to the villa. Suzaku went in together. Only the bewildered plum, orchid, bamboo, and chrysanthemum were left. After a long while, the four of them were relieved, standing around the door of the villa, patrolling the surroundings, and doing their job well. In the master bedroom, Qin Hung walked in, but Suzaku stood by the door. Looking at the woman in a coma on the bed, she couldn't help but feel a headache. Did she let it go or not? Of course it is impossible to put it. If it is released, this woman will go to the police and cause trouble to herself. Although the alarm does not bring me anything, there will still be some minor troubles, which makes him very uncomfortable, and he does not like trouble. Eyes flashed. An instant blue panel appeared. The data on the panel is the unconscious woman in this bed. Character, Mu Elegy. Identity, President of Mu Group, the heroine of Air Luck. Age, 23 years old. Charm, 97, full score is 100. Strength, Ordinary Mortals. King Yun points, 1500. System cheat, none. Looking at the information on the panel, Qin Hung stroked his chin thinking about something. The woman in bed now can be said to be left to his disposal, whatever she wants. But Qin Hung was a little uncomfortable. After all, now, his strength, appearance, background, family, status, and financial resources are among the top in Jiangnan City. And even the entire China is the best. As long as you want to, with a big wave of your hand, don't the women from all provinces have to come into your arms non-stop? Want a woman now? He can completely pull Suzaku into the room. Qin Hung has this confidence that Suzaku will never refuse. Moreover, Suzaku is also a handsome person, a stunner, naturally charming. This is Mu's elegy. No. For a comatose woman, he can't take any interest at all. Even if there is, Mu Elegy must take the initiative. As he gained the system, coupled with the improvement of his chemical strength, and the development of his brain, his vision and mood have changed a lot. Qin Hung frowned. He was thinking, and the phone by the bed rang. Obviously, the call was from Mu Dial, and the caller was Lu Chen, the son of the male lord's destiny. Lu Chen, the protagonist of, found this place based on the location installed by Mu Elegy's father on the phone, and then he rescued the unconscious Mu Elegy and beat himself up. After that, he joined the personal protection of Mu Elegy Company. Even if he saved Mu Elegy was also a bit disgusted. The good impression of saving himself was followed by Liu Chen's old man criticizing the female employees of the company and molesting himself every day, thus finding a reason. Liu Chen was sent to the security department as a security guard. It seems that Liu Chen got off the plane. After waiting for Mu Elegy for a long time, he didn't wait again. He was a little anxious, so he called. He walked by the bed, picked up the phone, and wanted to smash the phone directly, but finally gave up. It would be a bad idea if Liu Chen passed the location alarm. Although the kidnapping of Mu Elegy was carried out in secret, the government began to investigate it. We'll find here soon. Qin Hung hesitated for a moment, then took Mu Elegy's white jade hand, tapped the phone screen, and unlocked with his fingerprint. A ghost messenger. Qin Hung clicked on the phone album and found that it was encrypted. Qin Hung opened the fingerprint encrypted album at this time. What? He gave a startled suspicion. Then the corners of Qin Hung's mouth rose slightly with a radian. I thought it was some boring photos, such as landscapes of various places. Did not expect to find something incredible. Is actually Mu Elegy's private photos. There are pictures of bikinis surfing on the beach, pictures of tight bodysuits that highlight the proportions of the body during fitness, pictures of bathrobes after bathing, and pictures of ultra-thin lace night dresses. The photos in the future are also very interesting. What maid outfit, OL professional outfit, Lolita, heroic female characters in the game, nurse outfit, policewoman outfit, Cheongsam, and even fun. Did not think of this frosty female president of the iceberg is thousands of miles away. Is so hot inside. These private photos should have been secretly taken when she was alone, and they are also a weakness that is absolutely not allowed to be leaked, otherwise it is impossible to encrypt layers. Interesting, so interesting. This is really the face of the human but not the heart. The smile on Qin Heng's mouth is even thicker. He already knows the way to deal with Mu's Elegy. Qin Hung thinks he is not a good man who likes to use handles to threaten others' weaknesses when he is in danger, so Qin Hung decisively turned on Bluetooth and copied a copy to his mobile phone. When I was interested in continuing to appreciate Qin Hung. Suddenly the phone rang again. There is no name on the phone. Qin Hung naturally knew who the caller was. It was Liu Chen. It was also Liu Chen who called. Hesitate for a moment, he still pressed the answer button. Elegy, I am Liu Chen. Uncle Mu sent you to pick me up at the airport. Why didn't I see you? Do you think I'm too handsome, and you are too shy to come out to see me? Uncle Mu said, I'm your bodyguard, come out and let me see you. Liu Chen on the phone said the word personally, and Qin Hung on the phone soon understood why Mu Elegy had saved him, but he still hated Liu Chen's mood for transferring her to the security department. It is true, but all women have to be disgusted, and who is not disgusted if they are both narcissistic and erotic? Jiangnan City Airport. Outside the airport, next to Liu Chen is a salute he brought with him, holding a mobile phone in his hand, with a cigarette hanging from his mouth. He looks like a fool. At the beginning of the period, the other party did not speak. She herself thinks that beautiful women are shy and don't know what to say. But then his brows furrowed. Is also at this time. Qin Heng's playful voice rang, it's really interesting, you are also narcissistic. Brush. Liu Chen's face changed, and he learned from Mu Elegy's father that there are no male friends around Mu Elegy. The person on the phone is probably not a good person, and it may be detrimental to Mu Elegy. Liu Chen's face changed, who are you? Hehe, who am I? My dad. Mu's Elegy is in my hands, you know. Boom. Liu Chen only felt his mind buzzing. Only one thought came to mind, Mu Dial was kidnapped. Actually, when he saw the photos of Mu Elegy, he was deeply attracted by Mu Elegy's appearance and temperament. Even the photos can give people a feeling of coldness and rejection thousands of miles away, especially her character, even more so. He wants to conquer this woman. Has not had time to meet, let alone conquered. Was kidnapped, which is undoubtedly a provocation for him. What do you want? Liu Chen tried his best to calm down his emotions. But the tone still uncontrollable anger. As his voice changed, the temperature around him also dropped several degrees at this moment. What do you want? What can I do? Or to say, such a beautiful beauty, what do you think I want? Qin Hung smiled at the corner of his mouth. Although he knew that Liu Chen would find him, he didn't mind playing with him. You'd better not mess around,